and you're good to go.
All right. All right, welcome everybody. No microphones, so I'm going to speak up and talk loud today. But one, thanks everybody for coming today, number one. And two, congratulations to all of the nominees and specifically all of the winners today. We really do have, I know I play a part in the process along with the senior leadership team with helping make some of these selections. And it was a hard process to pick these winners, and we really do have a fantastic, nice representative group of superstars at Harrah's Hoosier Park. So appreciate all of that. We had a great quarter one. I think most of you have seen some of the start of a construction process that's taking place out in the parking lot and a little bit on the casino floor. And I think we've done a nice job to this point. The team's done a nice job of mitigating too much disruption, but look forward to a great quarter two. Look forward to a little bit of a mess and as we go through the expansion. And I also want to touch on, I appreciate everybody's involvement in the kickoff of our service program. And as we started putting people through the initial training, we tried to simplify it, make it much easier, less scripted, and I hopefully everyone appreciates that. And as we go into quarter two, we'll continue to develop that program. There'll be more conversation around it, and much appreciate everybody's engagement and involvement to this point. Again, congratulations to all the winners. We'll get to hear more of your stories here in a few moments, but thank you. With that said, I'm going to bring up Mr. Rick Moore.
Thank you, Trent. Yeah, just a stellar group. Tag on to what Trent said. Just a stellar group of winners here today that we're going to be celebrating. Very, very excited. And to just let you know what you're going to be receiving as part of the Shining Star Award, where you're going to be getting a certificate of achievement signed by Trent and myself, 2,500 total return credits, and a credit 2,500 total return used check signed by Trent as a keepsake. Total return company-wide e-card recognition, and honored at the Shining Star celebration today. Live YouTube streaming for everyone to see who's out there in the outside world, and also recognized in our newsletter. And finally, the thing I always think, it kind of is one of those everlasting things. Your picture displayed on the Shining Star Wall of Fame, and you know that's a wall that everyone comes and looks at. I look at every day when I come in to see the folks that have been, awarded and recognized with Shining Star Awards, and to be on that wall is a very, very special thing, and you are most deserving, those of you who are being honored here today. So that's what you'll be receiving. Trent, if you don't mind, the first award winner is someone I'm going to speak to, if you don't mind me going ahead. It's regarding innovation, and it's Nick Abernathy from our Indianapolis Winter Circle. Nick, come on up, Nick. Woo! So unfortunately, well, not fortunately for me, unfortunately for them, Jared Rogers, our GM down in Indianapolis, is on vacation, and Laura Stark offered to take Nick's shift today, so Nick could be here. But I've got a few comments I want to share to everyone about Nick. Nick started as a sportsbook supervisor in August of 2021. Nick is a quick learner and has shown excellent work behavior in every aspect of the job. Nick helps out in other departments such as security, EBS, tote, and food and beverage. Nick always gathers all of the information and facts to make a decision which benefits the entire team. He knows and does his job well and is not afraid to be resourceful in finding new ways and solutions for success. He has shown a practical approach to solving problems by breaking down large concepts into smaller, more manageable tasks. Nick has shown a strong commitment to the customer experience by knowing the company product. Nick is always punctual and arrives early for his assigned shifts. Nick maintains a positive attitude no matter what the situation is. Nick is definitely a team player. He likes to keep everyone laughing and smiling. And the comment I really like about, we talked about Nick's punctuality, but if Nick isn't a half hour early, he feels like he's late. So by his standards, if you don't come a half hour early, you're late. If you don't see Nick on the floor a half hour before your scheduled shift, you feel he is late. But Nick goes to work to assist. He does not want anyone to be shorthanded on his account. And we run a lean and mean operation down in Indianapolis. And we rely on our supervisors to be able to handle any task, which we talked about. And Nick is able to do so. And he's really, in a short period of time, become such a wonderful asset at our Indianapolis Winter Circle. Nick, thank you. We're so proud of you.
Nick,
Let's
let's get a quick picture of you.
Why don't you get the note here?
All right. All right, the next winner in the category of innovation, I'm going to bring up Mr. Todd Gilbert to introduce that winner.
I get to introduce Rachel Schupman. Rachel's been with Harrah's Hoosier Park since May of 2008, 14 years. She joined the finance team in February of 2021, where she replaced an outgoing senior accountant, and she hit the ground running, making a seamless transition. But she's been nominated for innovation in the first quarter 2022 because, like I said, during that time, our racing accountant, they left, and Rachel jumped in and made a seamless transition, even though she had very minimal racing experience. She's made the transition from what she was doing before to racing. We've had all of our monthly deadlines, and that was just great. Also during the first quarter, we had the 2021 audit, and Rachel jumped into that. Didn't do any of the racing in 2021, but she was able to give the auditors everything they needed. We had no issues whatsoever, so thank Rachel for that. And also, all the different transitions, AP is constantly making changes, and they made a transition at the beginning of 2022. Rachel jumped into that, worked with corporate AP, worked with the department heads. She worked with management and made sure that everybody, the vendors getting paid, check requests are getting met, and just there's a lot to do with Rachel jumping in, solving puzzles, and making sure everything was right. I consider myself lucky to have Rachel as one of my team members, and she exemplifies. Thank you, Rachel.
So, this clip of it.
Todd's trying to hide behind the
I
podium.
see, hi.
I think you got the home there.
All right, the next category, you'll notice as we go through this, we've got some categories where we struggled with identifying who the exact winner was, right? There might have been 10 nominees or 15 nominees, and we ended up selecting more than one winner in multiple categories. So you'll see that as a theme here. Really good people, and wanted to make sure we awarded the appropriate people. So the next category is suggest, and to introduce that winner, I'll bring up Ms. Clarice Kroll.
Congratulations, everyone. Excited to be here. So I want to talk a little bit about Jill Cross. And Jill, if you would come up, I would appreciate it. Just to give her a chance. She has her arm. So Jill has been nominated for the Suggest category. Jill has listened to our team members' ideas and suggestions for the property that weren't included in activities in prior years, and made her focus to incorporate these ideas. while implementing new ways to create a culture. And then speaking of culture, creating the culture gives the team members a sense of purpose, fun, and opportunity to give back to the community. I have to say that sometimes we take for granted the things that we do here at Hoosier Park that other companies may not do. And some of that includes the Team Member Appreciation Week, Hopper Tuesdays. We're able to wear jean days, have jean days, t-shirts. All of those things are so exciting. And this is not only creating a culture of engagement for us, but it also supports our hero initiatives and allows us to give back to the community. As the Events and Compliance Coordinator, Jill has made suggestions to our IDC badge processing that has really streamlined the process to make it more efficient and also keeps us in full compliance. Since 2017, when Jill took over our compliance and licensing, this property has not been fined for one error. So we certainly appreciate you for that. Her sense of detail, accuracy, knowledge, and willingness to go over and beyond is what she gives our HR team and the property as a whole each and every single day. On behalf of the property and the HR team, we thank you for all that you do. And the Suggest Shining Star is well deserved. So thank you so much. I was going to say, who's taking our picture for us? Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, the next winner in the category of Suggest, I'd like to bring up Mr. Lonzo Ball to introduce that one. I can't rhyme, I'm sorry.
We need some lights.
I know, man, my eyes are getting older every day. Sorry about that, Lonzo. Lonzo Ball, that's right.
So I would make it a sermon.
The responsibility of security dispatch can be very challenging, stressful at times. We couple that with working the graveyard shift hours can be even more challenging. Recipient of the first quarter Shining Star Suggest category from the security division has developed a skill to navigate through those challenges while helping to facilitate memorable moments for the guests through any interaction with them. Also, you probably can imagine the type of phone calls that will come in through dispatch. Being able to address those in the proper manner takes special skills. She is the initial voice. Harrah Hoosier Park, anytime a patient can communicate via the phone, they're usually going to hear her voice first here. So it's very important that you know how to address various issues with patients so that they don't go away feeling that Harrah Hoosier Park really does not care for them. She has a natural persona. That's a big deal of the attributes of the recipient of this award. She is engaging. She's good with name, face recognition. I don't know if any of you have had the opportunity to work the graveyard shift, but it's very demanding. Most of the time, most of the team members are into a deep sleep, while the graveyard shift is doing what they do. So when we have new trainees that come through, I often tell them that it takes real men and real women to work the graveyard shift. And at this time here, I want to officially welcome dispatcher here to the real men's and women's club. But on a serious note, and for the reason which we are here, I want to congratulate you. And being the recipient of this Shining Star Award, you're very deserving of it. In addition to interacting with the patrons, she also does an excellent job of assigning the details to the officers on the ship, disseminating calls to the proper personnel as needed. So as your manager, I understand the value of good dispatching. So on behalf of all of your Harrah Hoosier Park team members, security division, Hoosier Entertainment, thanks for all you do.
Good job. Okay.
All right, Mr. Alonso, appreciate you giving us a glimpse into the world, all kidding aside, of a dispatcher. I got the opportunity to learn a little bit about what goes on behind the scenes back there, and start thinking through, whether it be food issues that arise back there, or radio calls, phone calls, and all the other things that are going on all at once. So a recent insight into that. So congrats. There's a lot going on behind that counter, and we appreciate you for sure. The next category is leadership, and I've got Mr. Rick Moore here to introduce that winner.
Thank you, Trent. Again, it's my privilege to talk about Chef Darren Hassler from the Indianapolis Winter Circle. This is our second winner from the Indianapolis Winter Circle. We couldn't be more proud of that fact. Chef couldn't be here today, not because he didn't want to. He's doing inventory today. So, but I still want to speak on his behalf because he is just a terrific guy. I've gotten to know Chef Darren over the last year. We have weekly phone call, Indianapolis Winter Circle phone call at 3 o'clock every Friday. And I've gotten to know Chef very well. And Chef is always the first one on the call. We've never had a call when Chef hasn't been the first one on it. And, he took over this role, and we haven't skipped a beat. We lost our previous chef, and he left for another opportunity, and Chef Darren stepped into this role. And we haven't skipped a beat. Chef is multifaceted, multitask. He's put together a new menu for us. He puts together weekly specials. As I said, we updated the new menu with new pricing. He's done all the cost of goods sold. We have a good grasp on what our items are costing us, how the pricing should be. And he's done all this. And at the same time, we have a very short kitchen staff. We have 3 people on our kitchen staff. And Chef, besides doing all those tasks, he cooks as well. And does he ever cook? And we were the beneficiary of Trent and I in Curry's yesterday. We're down at the Indianapolis OTB. And I've never had a bad meal there. The food is just sensational. It's really, really good. And while it's not the main focus of our operation, our patrons expect to receive good food, excellent drinks, while they're betting on sports, betting on horse racing. And Chef, never fails. And he does it with the, most upbeat attitude. He's always looking at you. Well, what's my next special? What can my next special be? And he's so excited about it. And he's just been refreshing. He just has done a great job. He does all the ordering for the food and the liquor. Like I said, no one can ever say they've had a bad meal. The guy is just a terrific addition to our team. And I'm so pleased that I get to speak on his behalf today because I'm proud of that operation and I'm proud of what Chef Darren Hassler has accomplished at the Indianapolis Winter Circle. So, to Chef Darren.
know Chef's not here, and yesterday, going down there, we threw a curveball at this, the team, that property. We don't typically do many, catering events at the property, and we had a group of about 40 people yesterday, with short notice, 3-person team, as Rick mentioned. They put on a fantastic event, and so Coley, I know you're aware when those curveballs come and how challenging that can be, and thinking about them pulling this off with just a handful of people, and it was a wonderful event, so kudos. All right, in the category of leadership, I'd like to bring up Mr. Jason Bays and introduce the next winner.
Thank you, Trent. Most of you know I'm not the public speaker. I like to be in the back, not seen, or seen, not heard. I want to congratulate Ms. Lyle real quickly. I know starting on night shift as a supervisor and manager how a good dispatcher can make or break you as a supervisor or manager, and she does an amazing job back there for us. So, thanks, Sarah. I also like that we have 3 recipients today, and one of them is Miss Deborah Jones, or Miss Jones, as I refer to her as. I'm going to start with her nomination. I generally don't go over this, but she doesn't even know this, but one of her direct reports actually is the one that submitted her nomination, and I fully agree with it. Deborah has constantly gone above and beyond as a manager and a leader within the security department. She exemplifies the standards that leaders should strive for and embody the values that defines a good leader. She does not hesitate to jump in where needed or to assist team members when she can. She ensures that all team members feel welcome and that they can approach her. She continues to impart her knowledge on the leadership standards with her subordinates and rises above. It is a benefit to have her in the security department because Deborah ensures the continued safety and efficient function of the department. She handles all issues as they arise, such as manpower shortage, and jumps in when needed. She is coordinated with other departments to ensure that tasks are handled in a timely manner, and she continues to adapt and overcome obstacles that may arise and tackles them head on. There's not a lot I can add to that, but I'm going to go into a few more things. Deborah started with us back in 2011. She may not think that I remember that. One of my first memories of her is her walking up to me and introducing herself because she had not met me at that point. And that kind of speaks to her, straightforward and bluntness, which some like, some don't. Before that, she was in the Army, which I think can explain a lot. She ended her career there as a communications supervisor. In the Army, she received the Humanitarian Service Award. 2013, she moved to a supervisor on afternoon shift from the night shift and functioned there for many years until she moved over to the day shift. As we're reopening for COVID, our day shift manager decided it was time for him to retire, and she stepped into that role. A few things about Deborah, as I said, she's to the point. Deborah can be very to the point. She doesn't sugarcoat things, which can come off abrasive to some, but to me, I like it. With that said, in the last couple of years, she's really starting to get a good balance with that, and I think she recognizes that in herself. She's dependable. I can count on her. I think I can count the number of times she's called off on one hand since she's been here in 2011. She's always there. She volunteers to be here if somebody else calls in. She's kind of a backup plan. If we have an issue, she'll know she'll be here. Another thing is she'll get the job done. We had a table games issue a little while back with a supervisor or a patron. And Kevin asked about what we were doing with it. And I said, Deborah's on it. He said, well, I'm not going to worry about it then. And that's the truth. Real quickly on her independence. I often joke that I don't even know she's here. And even though her desk is directly on the other side of the wall from mine, she's constantly out on the floor, making sure her team is doing everything they need to do, making sure everything's covered. And when she is in the office, she's doing her reports in and out. She doesn't bug me. I don't really mean bug me, but she feels like she bugs me if she asks questions. She's just very independent, and she operates her shift with very little direction on my behalf. Also, she's willing to learn anything. When I was promoted, my predecessor told me that if I didn't learn how to delegate, I would not last long at this job. Most of you don't know this, or maybe you do, is I didn't like delegating anything. I felt like I had to do everything. Deborah has woken my eyes up to that, and about 6 months in, I realized she could take on a lot of things that I had done, and she often encourages me to have others do daily duties. With that said, I have gotten to the point now I actually feel like I can take off and not really worry about things, because I know Deborah, along with the help with Sandy, everything is taken care of, and I don't have to worry about it. Please join me in congratulating Deborah Jones.
Deborah says, who was that nice guy talking? All right, the next category is community service. I'm going to bring up Mr. Kevin Schefter to introduce that one. There he is.
All right. We will be talking about community service, and Derek Thurber, come on up here. All right. All right, this was a big wow one for me. I really didn't know. You'd be surprised what people do in their personal time, but Derek volunteers a tremendous amount of his personal time coaching a Special Olympic basketball team. The team is called the Madison County Mustangs. It's made up of special needs children that are autistic or have Down syndrome. Derek coached the team 2 days a week from 6 to 8 and tasked himself with the challenge of patiently taking the time to uniquely reach out to each of his team members and find a way for them to comprehend the fundamental concepts of playing basketball. After this huge accomplishment, Derek had to teach the individual how to play in unison and collectively as a team. Derek worked diligently in accomplishing these goals successfully. His team produced a winning season and then went on to sectional tournaments in Booth and Shelby counties and won both of those. Let's see, after winning these regional games, Derek's Special Olympic team went to the Madison County Mustangs again, advanced to compete in the Indiana State Finals, and guess what? They won again. These Madison County Mustangs then went on to the national finals and actually lost in a last-second shot. But I was floored by this. This just floored me. I thought Derek was all just about horses and table games, but actually he has. With the Special Olympics, you make me so proud, and this property proud for what you do on your own time. Thank you so much, Derek.
That's awesome, Derek. Good job.
Awesome. It's all awesome stuff. I until this award celebration or making selections, I wasn't aware of that story. And I know Derek, just like everybody else does here, who's always willing to tell me, like, you know what, there's something that's affecting guests in a negative way, and like I think we can fix this, and just bring those topics to me. And I appreciate that. And we've been able to make a couple of adjustments in some areas that were a win for the guests and a win for our teams. And he's willing to give that feedback, and I love it. And truly inspiring to hear that story. The win, lose, or draw, man. It sounds like you won a lot.
Yeah, last second, hit this through up, hit the top, very top of the backboard, and roll it up.
That's
Great.
great stuff.
Congratulations.
All right. The next category is Superior Guest Service, and I'm gonna bring up Miss Courtney Peoples to introduce that winner.
Hi, guys. Hello. I don't know if I'm as long-winded as everybody else that's been up here. I know everybody on property knows who Mike Forgas is. Would you go ahead and bring Mike up? it doesn't take long for everybody to figure out who our star bartender is most of the time. Mike's been with the company for almost 13 years now. He's an inspiration to all his team members. He's a very modest guy. He doesn't like us to joke about him very often. I've had the pleasure of knowing Mike for about 9 years now. I first came to know him as I was a guest. He was my bartender. And then we became coworkers and friends, and now I'm his boss. And it's been a privilege to watch his growth through the years. And he's just one of those guys that you can always count on. I never have to question his integrity. He's always doing the right thing, no matter who's around. The guests and the team members love his personality. They love his sense of humor. Well, most of them do. I don't think Mike Fortis has ever met a stranger. He's one of those guys that he learns the guests' names. He learns about their families. He learns about their lives. He really connects with the guests. He's here to make sure they have a good time and that they come back. They remember him and they ask for him. It's not uncommon to see Mike speaking with guests as if they are his friends, because that's how I feel he connects with them. We can only nominate Mike for one category, but I feel like he's a good fit for all of them. He's a very well-rounded employee, and I'm really glad to have him on the team here in Cook.
Yeah. You're like behind that podium.
Cha-cha.
We've had back-to-back people on the podium speaking and or receiving that recently received promotions, and I thought it was worth a shout out when you think about Miss Deborah Jones, the job you've done, being promoted from within. I know that wasn't that recent, but congrats, you've done a wonderful job, and Courtney is probably the newest manager on property for Beverage, so fantastic job.
Congratulations, Courtney.
All right, Superior Guest Service. I want to bring back Mr. Jason Bays to introduce that winner.
Not often security's at the podium 3 times in a day, twice for me.
For a good thing.
Must be broke. Yeah, something's wrong. And it's also nice to see somebody from our racing operations side get recognized. I'd like to bring up Valerie Mccord, who's hiding all the way back there in the background. She is truly somebody that likes to be in the background. She's one of the customer service awards winners for this quarter. She received a very glowing nomination from her manager, John Combs, who's currently backside covering for her while I'm up here. I would go back there and cover for her, but I couldn't do her job, and I admit that. So let's see where to start with Val. She started back in 2007. And she stayed seasonal for many years before being promoted or moving to the position of security racing clerk in 2018. Many of you don't know this, but when I was hired, the director in the position had a medical position or medical procedure that didn't go as planned, which resulted in me for the first, 2 or 3 months running a racetrack with no experience in racing whatsoever. Valerie was up here on the afternoon shift. And I would often go to her and talk to her and get the real things on what I needed to do and what I didn't need to do, and not what people wanted me to hear. She told me what I needed to know. And she's always kind of been an invaluable resource for that. I've always had a lot of respect for Val. After a few years, she decided to move backside and has been back there ever since. Now, some of you are wondering how somebody that works in the backside gets a customer service award. She handles our other customers, the horsemen. what her job entails is she makes sure that all the horses on the track are valid and allowed to be here, have their proper health papers, and make sure that they can race for the day. She knows everything there is to know about a health paper or Coggins, or I'm not even going to try to say the other ones. Rhino, there we go. Rhino. She knows everything there is to know about it. She maintains all the various papers for our horsemen. They often lose them. So they come to her and want a copy of their papers. She's kind of their personal secretary in that respect. She stays in contact with the horsemen, making sure they're aware if they've got a horse paper that's expiring, then that they need to get it renewed. And she'll hound them until she gets paper, trust me. She stays on top of all the horses that are coming in for the day. If we don't already have everything we need for them to race for the day, she's got a list out. She's already reached out to them before they even got here that day to make sure that we have everything. She provides all the paperwork for our paddock officers so they know what's going on for the day, who's in, who's not, what they need, if they need anything special. And she also kind of serves as an admin assistant for the security department in the back. She takes care of a lot of things in the gate, copying everything under the sun. And I'm sure there's many things I've missed at this point, but I just want to congratulate Valerie Mccord on being this quarter's customer service.
This will be considered a family style service.
And I would just add, if you don't know, you probably don't, we have 650 horses in our barn area. Valerie has records on every last one of them. I'm really proud of what she does.
So you mentioned horsemen not being organized. Now, I grew up in horse racing. I can't believe that. All right. Next winner is Superior Internal Service, Mr. Cooper Keeler, coming up to introduce that winner.
Thank you, Trent. It's my pleasure to report Craig Dobbins. Craig is our race time foreman. He's responsible, along with me and the crew, to keep the racetrack as safe and consistent as possible for the horses and for everybody else that's out there. It's long hours, working through all sorts of different kinds of weather. And Craig does it better than anybody else. Craig is beyond deserving of this award. He displays superior internal service on a daily basis. Craig goes above and beyond to support his fellow team members by seemingly always covering for them when they need off. Craig is so reliable, and my team and I are so grateful to have him on the team. We know he always has our back. He consistently steps up to the plate and delivers, which makes all of our jobs easier. His work is beneficial in that his outstanding eye for quality and his ability to be one step ahead at all times is unmatched. He knows what to do and when to do it. Craig does a fantastic job of leading the race crew. He leads with maturity and a kind heart. Craig has to deal with plenty of turnover on the race crew and has done so very well. He always is happy to train new team members. I cannot thank Craig enough for all that he does for me and for the track maintenance department. Thank you, Craig.
Congratulations. Thank you.
All right. The final winner, Superior Internal Service, Mr. Colby Miller. Introduce the winner.
So since returning from the pandemic, Brad has been promoted to lead steward. He is our stock person in the main kitchen, stocking items for the steakhouse, clubhouse, slice, dogs and suds, VIP, and the EDR. There used to be 3 people that would do this job. You know, one did return and one is no longer with us. So Brad had to take all that responsibility on since that time. Brad also supports the delivery of hot food to the banquets. So any party we have, whether it's in the top of the park or over in the lower lounge, Brad is the one who delivers all this food once it's prepared. He keeps an inventory of all our frozen products, all the items we need for these VIP events. Brad is always upbeat, positive, and the most important thing to me is Brad, he's reliable. You can always depend on Brad to be there to take care of whatever you need. He's an integral part of the main kitchen, and we're honored to have Brad on our team. I'm so happy for him.
I'm gonna get you to scoot down just a little bit so we can see you, Mike.
Hi, Mike.
All right, good job, brother.
So I warned you, it's a great group of winners. If you think about the people that just heard some testimonials and you saw their faces, we all know these people as the superstars of the property. And I appreciate everything you do every day in all of these different categories. And what's funny, a couple of people mentioned as they were doing this, like typically the people that are winning this, right, we're finding a category that they maybe best fit into. But really, if you think about the people that won today, you could go down the list and say, you know what, they fit in most of these categories. And that's what we're trying to do is award these people that are the team members that are out there killing it for us from a guest service standpoint, from an internal service standpoint, and others. So I appreciate everybody. Great group of winners today. We've got some years of service awards that we also want to deliver today. And I'm not sure how many of these people are here today. I know a few of them are. But for 5 years of service, do we want to get everybody together?
Yeah, we can call up each group, the 5 year, and then
Okay.
we'll snap a picture and.
All right. So the 5 years of service individuals, Cleveland Coleman Jr. From the Big Deli. Jared
Cleveland?
Cleveland, there he is. We'll get the whole group up here for a picture as well, if you're here. So, Jared Craig, surveillance. Jared. Rachel Ellis from the Home Stretch Clubhouse. Nita Johnson, Big Deli. William Moore, housekeeper. There he is. Mr. Mike Knoll, casino finance controller. Congratulations.
Congratulations on your 5 years.
All right, well, next we've got a 10 years of service group. Mr. Dan Bishop, SWAT Tech. Mr. Cooper Keeler, Track Superintendent.
Cooper.
Miss Emily Radcliffe, Race Marketing Manager. And Mr. John Waxler, VICP Services Manager.
Congratulations, 10 years.
And we have one more group with the people that just reached their 15 years of service. I know a couple of these people are here. Mr. Ryan Flanagan.
Right.
Very good. And Mike Chandler.
15 years, congratulations.
And I think Mr. John Combs is actually covering the shift right now, but John Combs. Mr. Doug Cook, Program Coordination.
Thank you.
Years is a long time.
Thank you.
Mr. Tom McCord, Security. Aaron Richardson, Senior AV Graphics Tech. That's it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
So that feels like a smaller group, but what I would say is there's a lot of people between the 5 and 9 year that already have been individually awarded their pins and their certificates, and the same between 10 and, so everybody that's beyond 10 and not quite 15 got their pins and certificates. So we'll continue to do these now moving forward, and as people get to their next benchmark, we'll award them. But hey, thanks again for everybody coming. Thanks for being the superstar team members that you are. A nice representative group from all different departments across the property, and also the Winter Circle. So appreciate everybody. Thank you, and look forward to the rest of the great 2022.